I met her about 2 months ago. Desperate and 6 months after breaking up with the love of my life, I was browsing Tinder again. If my mother only knew. I bet she would have slapped me across the head. Real men don't fool around on the interwebs, she would have said. Traditional as they come, she was always ready to give me her opinion, even though I hardly ever saw her these days. Back to Sonia, because that was her name. Italian girl, born and raised in the stunning city that was Venice, she was probably the most stunning creature I'd ever seen. Olive skin, bright blue eyes, dark hair, she was perfection to me. A little too innocent for my taste, but she was only 16. At 25, I'd dealt with my fair share of younger women, but she was the youngest that had ever caught my eye. Part of me felt a little wrong, knowing that to many she was still a child, but I was drawn to her like a moth to an open flame. Not one day passed without two of us talking for hours. Even at work, I would check my messages every once in a while just to make sure I would never miss a single word meant for me. It was safe to say I was falling for her, and with each second that passed, the longing in my heart grew deeper. I needed my sweet little Sonia. Still, I never had the courage to even call her, for I was worried that I would find a single flaw that could shatter this wonderful little image I've created for her in my mind. Voice like an angel's lips, curling into the sweetest little grin, it was easy for me to imagine it all. But would I ever dare to push through the strange fear to find out if she was really as perfect as I imagined her to be? After another long day of slaving away in the office, I was ready to just collapse in bed, too lazy to even shower. I was going to have to get up at some point anyway. Dinner would not eat itself, that was for sure. But with a thundering heart, I waited first, knowing that Sonia would be awake already, ready for our daily talk.
Hey, you won't believe what just happened.
I bet I won't, kitten. Did you wake up late again?
No, well, yes, but that's not it.
I already had an inkling. For the past few days, the sole thing she'd been talking about was this art contest she really wanted to win. Apparently, the prize was like 5,000 euros. We often joked that if she won, she would somehow visit me, or pay me to fly all the way to Italy. I never dared tell her that it would have been unlikely for her to even be allowed into the country on her own, especially if she claimed to be meeting her much older, long-distance boyfriend.
I won, and my mama says I can travel anywhere I want to with the money. She's gonna come too, but I bet she would understand if we wanted to, you know.
Oh, my sweet kitten, I'm so proud of you. But let's not make any decisions just yet, though. You might need that money for some other reason. But trust me, I would love to see you.
Okay, I know. Anyway, have you eaten yet? It's getting a little late over there, isn't it?
One thing I adored about my perfect little kitten, it was actually her that insisted on being called that, was just how she knew me already. Almost too well, really. No, but I will now, kitten. Don't worry your pretty little head about me.
But do you even have anything in the fridge? You said you had to go shopping yesterday, but you didn't go.
For a moment, I was a bit perplexed. How did she know that? But then couldn't help but shake my head, chuckling. Of course she knew. I stayed up chatting with her until 2 in the morning. Knowing that I never did anything productive after work, it wasn't so hard to guess that once more I've ignored my daily duties. I'll just order something, maybe some pizza, so I can feel closer to you. She sent me a cute selfie in response to that, pretending to hold up a piece of pizza while biting into it. Her eyes scrunched shut, mirth clear on her soft little lips. As usual, I could see the dark walls of her room behind her. She once told me that deep colors helped her fall asleep faster. It was a bit of an unusual choice, but if she truly struggled with sleep as much as she told me she did, I could understand trying anything that could help.
I just wish I could eat it with you. Just no pineapples on it, please. I promise I won't order such a mess, little kitten. Go now. I know that you have stuff to do. I bet your mama's cooking up a storm to celebrate.
No answer after that, which meant that, as always, she had listened to me. Such an obedient little thing she was. Sonia really knew how to please me. Part of me wanted to stay in bed a little longer, eyes fluttering shut for a moment. I wanted to think about her a little longer, for sure. But my stomach's loud growl stopped my thoughts and my hands from wandering. Knowing my luck, the nearby pizza place was closed, so I ended up ordering something else. An hour later, I was back in bed, actually somewhat clean this time, and decided to see if I could talk to my little kitten before going to sleep.
Hey, kitten. How's your day going? Nice. How was the sushi? It was really nice.
I couldn't help but rereading our messages from before. I could have sworn that I did not tell her what I ended up ordering, but honestly, I had takeout often enough for her to guess what I would eat in the end. Sometimes I felt like she knew me better than myself. It was strange, but still nice.
I hope you find a new pizza place you like. Don't think that one's going to open up again.
Okay, that was a little strange, but I was exhausted enough to let it slide.
So my mama said it's a good idea to go to the US. And we're going soon. Can't believe we get to meet so soon. Oh, kitten. Your mom might not be so happy to know that you would want to meet me. Remember what I told you about us? Our love is a little forbidden still. I know.
I was glad to know that she remembered. I did not want her to think that what we had was wrong, because it wasn't, but police in my state did not really believe in love at first sight. I liked, loved, cherished, whatever, my little kitten enough to wait until she was a little older, even if she seemed ready for a relationship already. If she truly managed to visit during the summer, well, that was going to be interesting for sure. Anyway, Princess, I'm really tired now. I'm gonna clean up and get to bed. Care to sing me to sleep? See, I was reluctant to even call her, but my little Sonia was different. She was happy to just send me recordings of her sweet little voice. Often, she would hum in Italian. I did realize at some point that her English was far from perfect, despite how decent her writing was. I loved falling asleep to pretending her little body was pressed against mine. I'd love to. Hold on, I know the perfect song for you. I wrote it. I stayed awake enough to start the recording, a smile on my face. With my eyes shut, it almost felt like she was right there beside me. The next day, I woke slowly, feeling drained, even though I had slept quite a lot. My body heavy, I allowed myself a few more minutes in bed, only to flinch when my phone's shrill noise broke me out of my peaceful thoughts. Are you still in bed? You're gonna be late. Why would you think so? I'm telling you, I'm already wide awake, just ready to have breakfast. I know you're lying. Okay, that was a little strange. Even if, despite the funny emojis, her words felt almost accusing. Sometimes Sonia was a bit different from normal. That morning was the same. I often wondered if she just knew me very well already, or if she was just good at guessing. Maybe both? Okay, you got me, baby girl. Anyway, I promise I'm up now. How was your day? Ready to go to sleep yet? I have a surprise for you. I'll be landing in LA soon, in just 2 hours. I'll be there. My eyes wide, I read her message again and again. This was too early. As much as I treasured her, Sonia was a minor, and well, I knew that I would not be able to resist her. I was not a saint, and and she was gorgeous. So I did not reply to her, as much as that broke my heart. She did not know where I lived, so really, it was best for me to just ignore her. I felt bad, but I was not ready for what our meeting could bring. Also, it was a little too sudden. What if she was joking? The 1st of April is long past, but teenagers were a little odd with their jokes. Could I really afford to get all kinds of excited just for my hope to be crushed? Even if she was coming, she was bound to be with her mother, which meant that she was fine, right? I ignored the texts from her. My heart heavy, but not too much. Who would even decide to jump on a plane like that? She had just won the contest. It was impossible to organize something so fast. Had she been planning it for way longer? That was a little strange. I still forced myself to read her messages later once the first wave of confusion had left, but refused to reply.
I'll be landing soon. Want to come pick us up? We could pretend you're an Uber driver. Hey, are you okay? We're too busy with work. I know you don't usually work so early. I can see you reading these. What happened? Don't you want to meet me? I bet you're busy. I'm sorry.
The messages stopped. It was way into the afternoon by then, and I was in fact not busy. I decided to stay at home. I could still work on my PC. I felt unnerved somehow. I have never felt so strange about anyone I met on the internet before. Up until her message that morning, I had only love for Sonia, and arousal, of course, but who could blame me? But suddenly I felt strange. What if she was on her own? What if she ran away? Alone in an unfamiliar town? I did not want her to be lost. But if I picked her up, took her home, the neighbors would start pointing fingers at me. I worried mostly for myself, as selfish as that was. But that night, everything changed. It was nearing midnight when I heard someone knock at the door. That happened often, for Mrs. Lee often lost her cat, well, cats, and since I lived closest to her. Tired and just hoping to send her back home fast, I threw the door open, only to freeze in my steps. Sonia was there, a cheeky grin on her face. "I found you." Her voice, it seemed a little off, hoarse and deeper than what I remembered. But her eyes were the same, her small frame wrapped in nothing but a loose sweatshirt. But how did she even find me? "Where's your mother?" I managed to choke out, ushering her inside. Despite the cool wind coming through the open door, she did not seem cold or even affected by my frenzy. "Oh, she's not here. I came to see you and no one else, so just kiss me." I wanted to. Oh, how I wanted to. But something was strange. Sonia seemed older. She looked exactly the same as her pictures, but just not right. A stranger, even though we've been talking for a long time. Am I not what you expected? And that was when I realized there was no way for her to be Italian. The way she spoke, her accent, not one bit different from the girls I've dated before. Even her mannerisms, she had to be American. "You're not Sonia, are you?" A smirk, then a soft laugh, lips turning into an ugly grin. She did not reply, but she kissed me. Her lips tasted sour, like lemon candy, but I just could not pull away. It took me moments to realize that I was completely paralyzed under her stare. Long nails dragged across my skin, digging into the pudgy flesh. Before, I felt like a predator. Even if I was willing to wait a little, I had known that I was in the wrong. Who in their right mind would talk to such young girls? And yet, I was attracted to them. I wanted them. But suddenly, I was the prey. In front of me was not a girl, but a swiftly shifting figure. Red eyes, glowing skin, piercing claws, keeping me from running. Fear crept into my very being. It stared down at me with an odd expression. I'm often merciful. Humans should not suffer too much, even if they have to die. But you deserve to burn in hell. It took all my strength to shake my head. No, that was not right. I have never sinned. I wanted to, but I would have never actually acted upon my thoughts, so why me? You know what? I will tell you what will happen, just so you know. You will be arrested. You will serve each day as if it never end, suffering, and trust me, your new friends don't like your kind. And the last day, when you feel like finally you're free, I will be there to get rid of you. No one will miss you, not even your mother. Once more I attempted to move, but I was just frozen. I felt its ice-like grasp weighing me down, sneaking into my thoughts. I wanted desperately to flee. Did I really deserve to rot in jail? Or you could just kid yourself, you know. The demon was Sonya again, grinning at me with mirth. But there was darkness in those wide eyes. I won't touch you, but you can always choose the easy way out. How do I know that you are telling the truth? I've sent our conversation, everything, and I mean everything, to the police department. They will be here in 10 minutes, so time is ticking. My fingers twitched. She was allowing me to move. I was powerless. She was only giving me 2 options, and I knew already what I wanted. My mother's heart would break no matter what. But did I truly want her to live knowing her son was... If I die, will anyone know? I choked out finally. A knife. Where had I gotten it from? I did not know, but there was a knife in my right hand. They will find evidence, yes, but you'll be dead. They won't care. I nodded. Did I really want my life to end? What was I even living for? I knew that my preferences were sick. I've known it for a long time. A waste of a human. That was what I was, and so I needed to die. I slit my throat. It was fast, but not painless. And yet, I felt like there was another, smaller hand pressed against mine, tearing the blade from the wound. Blood was quick to rush down my neck. It lasted only a few moments. My knees gave out, my breaths coming fast, the taste of iron overwhelming. And then I was choking, wheezing, my whole body shuddering. The last thing I saw, vision blurry, was it grinning down at me. The knife safely tucked in its grip. I never had a choice. And then I was gone.